So we are pretty much exactly 2 weeks away from the official release of Phantasmal Flames. So in this video, I wanted to share my thoughts on this set and, is it worth investing at this time? I think a lot of you guys probably know my standpoint by now, but there's a little bit more information I wanted to dig into in this video and sort of, share my thoughts on investing into the set as of right now. So I've told you guys previously that I had skipped Mega Evolution to eventually invest into Phantasmal Flames, and I still plan on investing in Phantasmal Flames, but I am being a lot more careful than I probably maybe would have been a couple months ago, especially recently the market has seen a slowdown. That is a big thing that definitely has changed in the past month, which has made me a lot more cautious about buying at higher price points, like a brand new booster box at above $300. And I'm pretty sure, correct me if I'm wrong, but this is a waived release just like Mega Evolution. So, with those factors being accounted for, I am not really looking to buy right now at this current price point. But I want to show you guys some data here to look at, and you guys can make your own decision on if you want to invest or not. Because truly, it is really hard to gauge with each set how low or high prices may go. It really depends on obviously popularity with the set. That is a huge thing, and also value. And Phantasmal Flames, it is pretty hard to gauge that because it's such a small set, but there are some really expensive chase cards that we've seen from the Japanese side, at least, which usually means on the English side they're probably going to be maybe a little bit more expensive. That's what we usually see with Japanese prices. They're a little bit cheaper than English because English pull rates usually are harder, and they're usually more difficult to grade because Japanese card quality is better. So we're going to go through some of those cards here and see the prices of those in Japanese. But you can see in the past month, prices have dipped all the way from $335 to now $315. The cheapest price I've been able to find anywhere has been $300. That's the cheapest I've been able to find. Other than that, they're all basically around this price point, not really much cheaper. If you want a case, you're paying a bit of a premium here. It's $19.70 a case, but there are some cheaper prices on eBay. So if you go on eBay here, you can see you can buy individual booster boxes for as low as $310, and you can buy a sealed case for $19.15, which I believe comes out to $320 a booster box, or something like that. $320, $325, somewhere around there. You're paying a little bit more per booster box, but it's definitely cheaper than TCG players. So this would be your cheapest option for a booster box case that I've been able to find. Now, looking at Inferno X, which is just Phantasmal Flames on the Japanese side, is the equivalent. This is like a one-to-one set from Japan or Japanese to English. You can see here it was released about a month ago. So when I show you guys this data with the Inferno X card prices, it's not like this is like the first week of a release. It has been out for about a month, so it has had time to, you could say, sort of regulate of the prices. It's not like it's the first week and everything's super expensive and hyped, right? So you can see the booster box is about right now on TCG Player about $145. So that is the price, and it actually dropped from, I guess, where it was a little bit. Just was pretty much released just before release. Then it dropped all the way to 130, and now it's starting to go back up a little bit. But looking at the prices of the cards, the most expensive card is the Mega Ultra Rare Charizard, Mega Charizard X. Obviously, this was going to be the most expensive card because this is the hardest rarity to pull. The pull rates for this are pretty difficult, what we've seen from Mega Evolution. And you can see on TCG Player, it's selling for about $850. One even sold recently for $1,000. If you go on eBay, you want to look at, eBay sales, because that's mostly where you're going to see sales for Japanese cards, not really on TCG Player. It is selling for $850 to $1,000 pretty regularly, and like I said, this set has been out for about a month now, so this is not just like the first week of prices. So considering Japanese pull rates, usually, I don't know the data with the Mega Ultra Rare, if it's easier to pull on the Japanese side or just as hard as the English side, but this is $800. Here, how expensive is it going to be on the English side? If it's, follows a trend of being more expensive on the English side, might be maybe close to $1,000, but we'll have to see, obviously, with how the release goes with Phantasmal. But just looking at the Japanese side, it's pretty expensive. Now next here, the Mega Charizard X. This is the Big reason why I wanted to invest in this set, obviously, the Mega Ultra Rare Charizard is another reason. But this artwork is amazing. Yeah, on the Japanese side, it's probably look a little bit cooler, more shiny than the English side, but that goes for pretty much all cards. But yeah, this card's insane. On TCG Player, it's going for low sevens. On eBay, it is going for about $700, and even PSA 10, you can see here, is going for around $1,400 to $1,500. So very expensive card on the Japanese side. And like I said, PSA 10 cards, usually on the Japanese side, they're cheaper because they're usually easier to grade into 10. So with that being said, this set's going to have some expensive cards, but it's worth noting how small of a set this is, and that's why this set I'm being very cautious on with investing into at over 300, and why I don't really plan on doing it. It's really a lot of ways this thing could go, and considering recently Mega Evolution has gotten the second wave of booster boxes, and how low we've seen the prices drop. It's kind of hard to say that this is a really strong price point to be buying at. So even after the second wave of product we got with Mega Evolution, the total set value is still near $4,000. And now Mega Evolution is pretty much the exact same age as Inferno X, and the set value is still extremely high. A lot of cards in the hundreds of dollars. Now, when you look at the booster box, it is bouncing around. Recently it ran up to around 280. Now you can see it's at 260. There's only a few boxes here until it kind of goes back up to that mid 270s range. So it's going up and down. More people listing here and there, but it has dropped all the way down to a low of 260, which kind of, in my opinion, proves a point that okay, if Mega Evolution is near $4,000, has pretty sought after cards. And if it can go all the way down to 260 from the second release of product, I don't see why Phantasmal Flames really also can't. There's also another thing to consider here with Phantasmal Flames. Since it is such a smaller set than Mega Evolution, some people may say there's going to be more fatigue with opening up the set, because let's say you open a few booster boxes, you'll probably get a decent amount of cards you want because there's only 5 SARs. I forget how many IRs, but I believe it's in the low 10s. They won't open Phantasmal Flames maybe nearly as much as Mega, because Mega Evolution is a much bigger set, more cards to chase rather than Phantasmal. It's a much smaller set, just like Journey Together, where okay, I mean, you open so many packs, you'll probably get the same cards. You'll probably be done opening up the set. So that is to be said with Phantasmal. I mean, how fast will it be for maybe opening fatigue? Who really knows? But it can also be argued that possibly Phantasmal, just as a wide audience of Charizard fans, maybe just based on that, there's going to be more open of this set because of Mega Evolution, and therefore maybe prices will skyrocket because so many people will want to open this within the first month maybe, and prices then would skyrocket until we maybe get the second wave of product. There's a lot of factors you can argue with this set of why it won't skyrocket or whatever, and why this is a good or bad price point. But I think just generally speaking, most people aren't saying a new booster box at $300 is a great investment. I don't think there's many people out there saying that, and I'm definitely not one of those people that are saying that, because it's hard to say that 300 is a great entry point. But the biggest thing I look at is Mega Evolution being such an expensive set. If it can get this low, I don't see why this can't. But like I said, there's other factors you can argue with, but I'm not playing that game, especially because recently the market has seen a slowdown. But I do think Phantasmal Flames, this release, will really see, will really point to how strong or weak this market is, because of the recent decline we've seen. Will Phantasmal Flames spike things back up and go crazy? And I mean, who knows? But I am definitely being more cautious. I'm not investing into Phantasmal Flames at this time, but it does look like the Charizard, Mega Charizard X, the gold one, and the SAR version, they're going to be very expensive just by looking at Inferno X. So it'll be interesting to see what happens to the set, how expensive it is, and we'll just have to see in 2 weeks from now where this goes. But that's all I wanted to share with you all today. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.